Dodge, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear, Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard, Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape, what else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber, catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven, Mocker, Midnight, Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry, Wolfman, or Wolf County, need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber, catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
This here's Bigfeets, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, and if I seem a little off this episode, it's because I broke my dick trying to fuck to hillbilly breakdance banjos.
And I'm Sean Baby. Came down to see Toots, I said, as if he had actually asked me my business. The bartender stuck a beer in front of my partner. Well, that's okay by me, he wheezed. Toots should be in directly. Toots didn't come in directly enough to suit me. I had to endure at least an hour of attempting to start up conversations, all of which seemed to fizzle after a few exchanges. After a while, however, and after buying everybody in the joint several rounds of beers, I got them debating a topic I should have started with right from the beginning. Sex. Some things about human nature don't change no matter where in the world you are. Once they were going, I merely had to sit back, listening attentively, and pretend I was actually part of the conversation.
And I am New York Times bestselling author Jason Pargin.
You guys like to talk about sex, right?
Not with Frank.
But he got everybody talking about it so he would not have to participate. That was his spycraft, was it?
Yeah, it's his spycraft. Yeah. He's like, what do you like best about sex, fellas? Huh? And then he just watched the fireworks.
The whole bar was talking about what a weird loser I was, and that meant I didn't have to participate in the conversation.
Can't pretend I haven't done that myself.
That's me, every bar. What do you think, fellas? Butts? Butts or not butts?
Oh, not butts for me. Not zero butt for me.
4 hours later, I'm still watching the back and forth.
Having accomplished, don't even have to say what that did for you.
You guys, is it getting weird that guy's like listening to everything, but he's never said anything? Is it getting weird?
He just shouted for us to debate sex, and then he just watched. Do you think he's hard right now?
Yeah.
Do you think he's a spy? Do you think he's a secret spy?
There's no way to tell if you put the Navajo white sock over it.
It's true. It's true. You can fuck anything and get away with it.
I can't wait for the Duke's cast. But that's not today. That's not what we're doing today. What we're doing today is advertising our things, plugging our stuff, I guess.
Oh, right.
Jason, how about you?
I'm afraid to even say anything at this point. Because every time I talk about my book in the same episode where Brockway is promoting his, we just get tons of comments and commentary from people saying that I'm trying to author Mog Brockway. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to establish myself as the alpha. And then you get people taking sides. Like this week, I know that Barack Obama issued a statement saying that he was, I think, Team Robert. And Clavicular came out and said he was Team Jason on this, saying, no, absolutely. You should be mogging everyone. If you're the alpha, you should be mogging the beta authors in the room and triggering cortisol spikes. And you should be establishing yourself as the pros maxer. So, no, buy Robert's book. I have nothing to plug. This is the only thing I do in my life is this podcast. This is how I make my full-time living. I have bought an entire home just with the income from Bigfeets.
Damn, indifference mogging us.
Oh man, Sean, what about you?
Sex. Go do it. Go talk about it. And then just sit back and watch.
Nobody's plugging anything. All right,
You have to plug the. You have to plug
right.
the
It is-
Patreon.
okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Okay.
That's
Go to patreon.com/sex.
I wonder if that's a real one. That might be.
It's got to be a real one. Congratulations to them.
When you've
If
got to
not-
They're
spell
probably
out,
doing great, right? They don't need our plug.
you have to guess the correct number of E's that Sean said,
if
or
not, it's
you're
about
getting
to
something really different. If you get the bad one, you guessed wrong.
1-900-HOT-DOG is our website. That's kind of the thing we do. We do daily funny articles, and this is just to promote that, really.
Yeah, there's no point to this at all, aside from that. I am still legally obligated to promote my own book, I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend for $200. I would love to do a Gift of the Magi thing here with Jason, where I'm like, oh, but I only brought a plug for your book. But I have already gone to prison once for this. I'm not doing it again. That's kind of my plug. I don't have to do a whole bit anymore. It's a good book. You can go look at reviews, and people are like, "This is a good book." The people that aren't me, yeah, go do that. I mean, you don't have to trust me. I would advise against trusting me. Actually, that's kind of what got us into this mess, really. Which is your fault, the listeners, to be clear. Frankly, how dare you? I guess that's my plug. Wow,
Great plugs,
Okay.
everybody.
and also if you don't buy Robert's book, buy a book. At this point, I just want people to read books. It doesn't have to be mine. It doesn't have to be anybody I know. Read a bad book. I don't care. Read a book by some evil person. It doesn't matter. Please keep books alive as a thing.
I'm going to go to a random URL, bit.ly/crabs. And that's called the plug mog, because I just plugged Jason's book.
Oh, shit. He's not going to be able to answer that. Next episode, Jason's overdosing. Nope. Gotta cut that one.
No, it's too sad. They could be dead by the time this goes up. Also,
And everybody will be sad.
all of that
You're
jargon
correct.
we're using won't even be ironically funny in 2
It's
weeks.
not.
It'll be gone.
It's not right now.
We won't
Yeah,
even know
that's
what it
true.
meant. Yeah.
This is like 2 years ago to anybody that... all right. Well, we're a Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. We don't have to be hip. What we're doing is not hip. It's the opposite of that. This started as a Bigfoot Bigfoot hunting reality show. I don't think they've technically mentioned Bigfoot so
Not
far
in
in
many
this season.
episodes, no.
They rebooted the whole premise without rebooting the show. They just chose like a season, like all your favorite shows do. You know how you're watching Scrubs, and then in season 7 of Scrubs, they're just like, well, it's episode 1 again.
Spoiler, they are going to get the note right now.
Mm-hmm.
You guys need to get some Bigfoot in this. It's in the contract. You can all literally go to jail. You got a grant from the state of West Virginia to make a Bigfoot documentary 10 years ago.
From the Bigfoot
we
Fund.
gave you $40 million of taxpayer funds.
The Virginia Big Fund,
definitely true.
of course. We'll get to it later, like where Bigfoot comes up. But the fact that they brought this is episode 6. There's no particular order. We're watching the episode called "The Coyote Killing Massacre." That's how you're gonna find it. But this, for me at least, is very late in the season, and they mentioned Bigfoot later for the first time, and all that really did was point out, like, oh shit. You didn't mention Bigfoot at all until right now. Like, really drove home the point that, like, they forgot Bigfoot in their Bigfoot show. It's incredible.
He used to be just the background noise. Like, they would be walking to a different monster and see a branch broken. Oh, look, Bigfoot's here. And maybe he would yell at them, maybe he wouldn't, but that was it. That's just the kind of Bigfoot sighting they would have.
That's how jaded they got with seeing
Yeah.
Bigfoot all the time. They're like, I've grown to resent him. I've grown to resent his presence. He's like the Kato Kalin of the forest. I don't want to see him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's a deep cut. Jesus.
Yeah.
Kato Kalin, you think he's still alive? Let's
I
talk
don't know.
about him for
Why
a
is
while.
that in my brain? That sucks.
So before we go any further, we have to issue a correction. And some, I know that, in the modern era, we don't do that. We just say stuff, and then just when it's proven to be untrue, just move on, pretend we didn't say it. So we noticed last year that they added a writer to the show, a story editor. In the world of reality shows, that's that position. It's somebody who makes sure there is a coherent narrative across the hours and hours of... That's not how this show is shot, but other reality shows, they have hundreds of hours of stuff. Story editor is the writer. They decide the storylines, and like this character, we decided she's like the bitch. Find all the clips of her being a bitch, and they put a narrative together. Okay, so they added a story editor to the credits last year, and you could see it and you could feel it. There were like monologues, there was stuff that was clearly written. At some point, they dropped that person off the credits.
No.
I don't know when. They're not on this episode. I did not go back and see at what point they fired the writer, or he said, "Look, my work here is done.
You can
I'm
feel
moving
it.
on to he got hired to write for Marvel."
There's some stuff in my notes that will corroborate that. As I was watching this, I was like, this feels like someone trying to write a story, thinking they can do it, and failing really miserably in a really like non-professional way, in a way that a child wouldn't do. We'll get to it, I guess.
I guess that's true of my notes too, because there are several points in my notes where it's just like, fuck this writer. I can't believe they hired this writer. So like, it makes sense.
That's why we have to issue this correction, because we mentioned the people who could go look at the credits and see that person's name. We've been saying, oh my God, I can't believe the writer did this. And that guy is at home screaming at his
he's mad at
podcast
us.
Machine like, I did not. That was after they fired me, or that was after I was hired away by Chris Nolan to write that time travel movie.
Chris Nolan saw his Jeff in The Departed, and he's like, oh man, that's really good writing. I gotta hire this guy.
He's surely committed like hillbilly seppuku, right? Like he's put the shotgun against his belly and then pulled the trigger and yanked it off to the side. Like, there's no coming back from this. If you get fired as the writer from the reboot of Mountain Monsters, like that's life, man. That's life done.
Yep.
That's your life over. Like, you can't even get a job at a Chick-fil-A after that. Like, they'll ask.
And the guy, we even looked up, like, Mountain Monsters wasn't on his IMDb, so he wasn't, like, trying to put that out there.
Nope.
Like, he was going into IMDb and specifically deleting that off.
Yeah, you don't want to tell anybody.
We have some people that know the ins and outs of IMDb real well. Get that back on his profile. I'm serious. Get it back on his profile. This is like being a registered sex offender. You have to know.
Some listeners may know the story, but our readers got Paul Dano added back to, what was it called?
That's
The
his
Rainbow
first
Karate
credit.
Kids? Yeah, it was him as like 10 years old doing a karate video, and they got it put on his IMDb.
As his very first credit. So now when you go to Paul Dano's IMDb and you look at the very, like, how'd this guy get his start? You get Sensei Rainbow and the Dojo, I don't remember, the Dojo Kid, something like that?
Some shit like that. Yeah. Like, you realize why he didn't want it on there.
You can still go, I mean, the search function doesn't work anymore, but at one point, we would go routinely search Twitter and you could see like 5-6 people every single day find out like, what the fuck is this Sensei Rainbow thing? Paul, and they'd tag him like, Paul, what is this? And he'd never reply. It's just, no, I will not acknowledge it. Okay, let's get started with the episode. So previously on, this should be quick.
God damn it.
This should be quick.
We'll
They
be done
set
soon.
out to prove ordinary wolves might exist in West Virginia. They met several people who had already done that. So they pivoted. They went to prove that ghost dogs guard Virginia's cemeteries. Mm-hmm. Then they pivoted again for no particular reason. Decided they're like dire wolves now. They're monster demon wolves. I think last episode before, they found the Great Skull Wall. Neither great nor a wall, but surprisingly did have a skull. I'm proud of them for that. And that guarded the domain of the dire wolves. Am I forgetting any? That's it. That's really it. Oh, there was like a guardian. There was like a Rob Zombie guardian, like the knight from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, who had just like been tasked with standing by this wall.
He put the
for his
speaker
life.
up in the tree to make chain sounds, because the chain sounds keep the dog away.
But you don't even really need to know that. They're not really going to get into that.
They don't
Don't
have a chain
spoil
with
it. Because I feel like this is an important point to make, because first of all, a couple of episodes ago, maybe 3 episodes ago, there was a big moment where either their writer or maybe they improvised it, I don't know, where Buck reinstated Jeff as the researcher, because he said, we encountered a ghost dog, it's non-corporeal, Jeff, you need to find out what this is. Jeff came back the next episode. He had dug up a bunch of old documents and said, this is called a grim. It is the ghost of a dog that has been buried alive to guard a cemetery. Then the next episode, they ran into a guy who said, it is absolutely not that whatsoever. I don't know why he's saying that. This has nothing to do with that at all. These are called smoke wolves. Now, this is crucial. The last episode was called, the title of the episode was, What's a Smoke Wolf? They ended that episode without answering that question. The guy they talked to said that he said these are called smoke wolves, that no one asked him, why are they called that? Where are they from? What's their nature? And so on. So from what we've gathered so far, a smoke wolf, basically, if you take a regular wolf.
Yeah.
So
that's all of it.
The other big mystery was that skull wall, it had a red gem in one of the eye sockets. They made a point of that. So we were speculating, are they going to have to find a second gem? Is that going to have to be taken out? You're like, what's the significance of that gem? What powers will it unlock? We didn't get to that, so we've still got to resolve that as well, in addition to finding out what the smoke wolves are and where they come from. But
It'll
then,
just open a cyberbase, I imagine, right? You put the other eye in, boom. And now you're in the underground umbrella facility.
Yeah. The 9,000 acre futuristic facility they built under this nondescript piece of land that somehow nobody noticed them building, and part of it has a giant shark in a tank that will attack them. Anyway, but the thing Sean said is key, because the one thing they picked up from that guy is how to defeat or repel the smoke wolves, how to control them.
Yes.
The sound of a chain rattling will keep them away. So if they ever need to drive them toward a location, if they're ever in danger or surrounded by smoke wolves, the chains, this is the stuff where, like, they're proving we don't need a writer. We came up with this. The method for controlling the smoke wolves, it's this sound. So they've got their Chekhov's gun. Let's see what they do with it.
Now, he even went a step further, and he said, I actually carry this tiny personal novelty chain on my wallet. Not because I'm into skate culture, but to repel, because even this tiny little chain, even this tiny little adorable chain I have here, will repel the smoke wolves. So, I mean,
I feel like he just got caught with a real lame 90s wallet and it's like scrambled to come up with a reason. I think that's
it's got a pot leaf on it. They hate the pot leaf.
Yeah, they hate pot too.
It drives them right away.
Black flag.
No, but like, he's told them, here's how you stay safe personally out here. Like, this is the most dangerous territory. That he calls it no man's land, because no man ever comes back that goes in there. Well, no dog. We'll get to that.
Except the one. So, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But he even gave them, like, here's like your only defense. So yeah, now they have the little Ghostbusters proton pack thing to fight back. A little storytelling device to play with. Now that we're going in there, and we are doing something. So the episode opens with black text, which is usually like, that's their shit got real moment. Mm-hmm. You've got to wake up and pay attention, and that it informs us that a local somehow heard of the Ames team's intent to cross the Great Skull Wall into no man's land, and he demanded an emergency meeting first. He has information they absolutely need to know before they go into this place. So they go meet Travis, who of course is standing in a blasted empty field.
Just idling in a clearing.
What I love best about this is that it's like a freshly harvested field, so it's just a flat, clear wasteland that you can see Travis is like the only feature, the only landmark in this field. What I like best about it is that he's not dressed in like full survival gear, like I live out here in the woods or anything. He's just in like a jeans and a hoodie. They're like, I still idle out here in the field, but
But see, this is one of the things that the writer had brought to the show. He would have them do, because this is like basic writer 101 stuff, having the person doing something when they arrived. Like a guy's outside his barn, he's like, whatever, hammering on something. You know, like a Law and Order, they're always talking to witnesses and they're like in the middle of doing their job and like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's more natural. And as soon as the writer goes away, it's like, nah, he's just idling middle of it. 10 acres of just corn stalks, just nothing. He's standing out there for no reason.
The corn is gone, too. We can't even be out there inspecting the corn.
No. This might be the worst witness because he starts to talk and he's just a full Abe Simpson. Like he's opening with a story about his dad has cancer. And then he was in Nam and then he had a 71 Chevelle and it got him thinking that like, he loved the snow and the elevation, and he will not get to a story. And then within that rambling, I'll tell the story. Okay. He had a friend, Redbone, right? And Redbone liked to hunt. And when the moon is right, he'd wear a hat made out of bananas, which was the style at the time. Carmen Miranda, right? She invented wolves right here along with maple syrup, which is a type of drinkable breakfast. So anyway, we were talking about bananas. Deep in these very woods lives Banana Jim, who told me a story about the 60s when real outdoorsmen would tell stories about the 50s. And here's one now. Back in the 40s, Mike heard a weird sound. Mike loved exotic colors and vintage strains.
Sean's story is about 3% stupider than the actual story that Travis is about to tell.
So
which, by the way,
off.
He kicks off his encounter with when they're piling out of the golf cart because they have to have the golf cart to get out to his spot in the middle of this vast blasted landscape. He has no transportation out there. I guess he just walked. And immediately he's like, whoa, how'd you all fit in that golf cart? And I swear to God, I thought they were going to go back and do the whole wacky. You should hear about how we were all squeezed so tight into that rental car that another guy sat on my balls.
A different guy.
God, we were so close to that. You're right.
Picture it in your mind. Picture it.
Like a gun to the viewer's head. We'll do it.
I wonder if that's the point that got the writer fired. Like they're going over notes afterwards, and Huckleberry's just like, this doesn't even make sense. He's sitting on my balls? How long?
We're fully clothed? Where does he think my balls are?
That's what the difference that got him fired. I just want to note that Redbone is a white guy, thankfully. Like, credit them for this. They didn't cast somebody and say your name is Redbone.
The guy they're talking to is not Redbone. He says, right. I had a friend named Redbone. And they cut to an old photo of a man who does not look like a Redbone. I don't know if that's inappropriate for me to say. Jamie, please cut it if it turns out it is. If I met that guy, I'd be very surprised to find out his name is just one word, Redbone, nothing else.
He is dressed exactly in Fat Albert's clothing, which does lend it some credence.
Yeah. I think you get a pass to say it if you're dressed like Fat Albert.
Hey, in the 1970s? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Redbone went out hunting and didn't come back, and they put out this massive search party for him. I'm skipping through. This story is about 10 minutes long. They put out a massive search party, including the actual authorities. So there are news stories about this. You can go look it up, I'm sure. Travis explains that his dad was part of an elite infantry division in Cambodia. And as soon as he says this, Wild Bill goes, "Hoorah!" And then the very next words out of Travis's mouth are, 153 of them went into the jungle, 55 came out.
I loved it because he interrupted his story, but he also, like, it was such an awkward silence because Hoorah's a Marine thing and his dad's in the Army. And so he doesn't know the callback to this, or he might, but it's just like not an appropriate place to do it. But he's like, no, okay, sure, your Marine thing. But back to what I was saying, so many people died that night.
It even cuts back to Bill looking sheepish, like, oh, I wish I would have saved that hoorah.
I need to learn how to keep my mouth shut.
Didn't know you were going to mass casualty
Anyone
from there,
got
Travis.
any poop I could eat? I could take off my pants.
Travis uses that whole story just to say that that's why his dad never leaves a man behind. By my math, he left 100 people behind.
He's the
and
most guys left behind per person I've ever heard of.
It was very notable for the number of people
We
that
were one
left
of
behind.
one of the worst units in all the war.
That's why they were first in the jungle, baby.
That was all friendly fire.
They drafted us 4 days before we went out there. None of us knew what we were doing. They weren't even real guns. We had to kill each other with spoons.
Friendly fire with sticks. So Travis's dad gathered up when Redbone went missing back in the 70s. His dad gathered up all of his elite military unit, who were surviving members of it, and went back in search of their friend. And you can see at this point, if you watch, you can see Huckleberry getting visibly a little bit excited because he's like, "Oh, this is a predator, you guys. He's doing a predator. I think he's going to do a predator."
Yeah, predator
he's like
killed his friends.
And then Travis ends up by saying they never did find anything. Bad story, Travis. Bad job all the way around.
And that was only one of 12 stories he had nested in that thing.
Yes, and all of this is just one point where Travis says one man stayed behind when all the elite military guys left because there was just something about those woods, and that man's name was John Tice, Trapper. My God. So
Trapper.
that means.
If you watch the show, they show a picture of Trapper from the 70s. Great dimples. Real cute fella.
Yeah. Looking kicking in his little outfit.
Yeah.
That's what you call that. Uniform, some people call it. So that means Trapper actually lived here in the Tigert Valley the whole time, at least since he came back from Vietnam, with this tight-knit group of army buddies, the only survivors of this horrible platoon. And then he moved away, never contacted them or mentioned them again in any way. I am pretty sure the diary they opened this season with contradicts this and says he traveled here to hunt beaver. So that means Trapper was lying
Maybe
to
that's
his
just
diary.
what they called it. Maybe he and his army buddies, that's just what they called it.
I feel like the listeners are getting very frustrated because I feel like we struggled very, very much trying to make sense of Travis's story about Redbone and Vietnam and Trapper. Guys, I rewatched the scene, I think 6 times trying to spell it out in my notes because it's like, well, he starts out trying to make a point and that point never arrives because some of you are saying, well, what happened to Redbone? Why did you bring up Redbone? Who is Redbone? Okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna boil it down to like 3 sentences. Okay. In this area, a guy named Redbone went missing in 1971. The whole town, they did a manhunt with the police, and they looked for him. After a week, they gave up, but that didn't sit too well with a bunch of local veterans who'd served in Vietnam together because they said, we leave no man behind. So they kept looking and then they gave up and said, oh no, he's not out here. He's
really
dead.
gone.
But one lone man said, no, I don't leave no man. You guys give up. Not me. One man stayed behind, persisted out of all of them. And that man was John Trapper Tice. And after searching for a time, he also did not find Redbone. It turns out that first group, 100% right to quit.
Right.
He's dead. They would all have been better off continuing just doing something else, would have been more productive. The lesson of the story is sometimes people are just dead and you got to get over it. Sometimes you got to leave the guy behind.
And you'd think they would have learned that after leaving 100 men behind. It should have been. They should have been the most ready. They should have been at the forefront of leaving men behind. They should have been like, nope, we've seen this. We got to go.
Some people can't be saved. Some people shouldn't be saved.
Have you seen his outfit?
Really good lesson.
Anyway, that's that witness. That's what
the important detail that he gave to the Ames team is the noise. Trapper heard a noise twice. Back in the 70s, the guy who knew his friend who disappeared heard a noise twice.
And that's what he remembers. That's what his dad remembers, and he remembers secondhand hearing that from his dad. My dad told me a guy 50 years ago heard a noise twice.
Yeah.
But that's not the important point. He tells them where he heard it.
Right.
which is at a spot of high elevation called Rock Point, which is also what the witness last week said. And in fact, Buck replies with, yeah, that's what the last guy told us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything
We're
he
on the
just
way
said,
there.
we already knew.
Yeah. They would have been there if they hadn't stopped to meet him at this
To talk to this
fucking
guy.
crater or whatever this
I can't
place was.
believe Travis was finished talking. That's the piece of information. It was literally the last piece of information the team got.
Yeah.
If you stitch together these episodes, that's last episode, the Rob Zombie Gate Wizard was like, go to Rock Point. And then we open this episode with like, and that's why you should go to Rock Point. That was it.
It was in the sizzle reel the previously on. We, the viewers, didn't even need to be reminded that they're trying to find a place called Rock Point in order to hear the smoke wolves. That's where you hear them on the rock. It doesn't matter. Now, I don't want to imply that I'm trying to prolong this section because I'm worried that there's not enough in this episode to talk about
plenty to
for
talk
even
about.
a brief podcast, and that in fact only one other thing occurs in the entire episode. But so instead, I'm going to explain how storytelling works. And you can cut all this if it's not interesting. It probably is not. But I am shown as a famous author. I am shown a lot of young writers' novels that they wrote in high school or their screenplays, their short stories. Brockway, you probably get this stuff from people too. Sean, I don't know if people ever mail you their fiction.
I get mostly
Brockway's
penises.
shaking his head as if no one else. This doesn't happen to anybody but me. I get a lot of stuff sent to me. I do read almost all of it. Rare that I don't. Lots of them make the same mistake. And get this, they make a mistake that a lot of Hollywood blockbusters make, which is that there's a lot of stuff happening, but it's happening in a straight line. The last Mission Impossible movie does this. It is nonstop chases and Tom Cruise narrowly avoiding death, and it is boring as hell because the plot is we've got to find a MacGuffin to defeat the evil AI that's going to take over the world. So the plot is, okay, to get the MacGuffin, we've got to go steal this key. So they go, oh my God, the bad guys are here, but we defeated them and stole the key. Now we've got to go talk to this guy. They go travel to talk to the guy. Oh my gosh, the bad guys are here to stop us from talking to this guy, but we overcame them and we talked to the guy. Now we've got to go to the submarine. Oh my gosh, the bad guys are here to stop us from getting to the submarine, but we defeated them. Do you see what I'm saying? It's, we need to do this. Okay, now we did it over and over again. And then the movie, at the end of the movie, is like, yeah, we got the MacGuffin and we defeated the bad guy. If you want to write a good story, every scene needs to send the story in a different direction. It needs to change what the heroes think they have to do. Go watch the film Mad Max Fury Road. You know, people talk about that as if it's just one long chase. And it's like, well, there's hardly any story there. They're wrong. Everything that happens totally changes what they know about the situation and what they have to do next. The thing they think they're going to do to accomplish it, it takes that off the table and forces them to do something else. I wanted you to have one useful piece of information that you could take home from this podcast. So I put this in my notes because this thing we make fun of them doing, even accomplished writers do it sometimes, where they will talk to a person and the person just tells them what they already knew, or just keeps, it's like, no, you're on the right track. That can all be cut. I'm so sorry.
We're going to need it, I think. In fact, we might want to put it in slow-mo just to kind of pad out the episode.
There is-
Man style.
I just want to say there is a point where that becomes too much, though, and you need to get to the point. And like, just for example, the story about Redbone, Travis's whole story about Redbone. There's a danger in taking that too far. Like if the whole point of your story is to say, I heard about a guy who heard some noises. Don't start with your dad loves his Chevelle. Like, we can skip a few of that. So it's into the night investigation. There's a shaky cam action shot, them all piling into the Forest golf cart, and Wild Bill says, "Tell you what, they say no man's land? Huh, I believe it." To which all the guys reply, "Woo!" and "Hell yeah."
Yeah, great job.
That's not the right response.
They did try to do some storytelling here because they found some trees. and they're like, oh, these are timber thieves. Well, these are signs of timber thieves. And I think that's good. They have like kind of an enemy in addition to the wolves. But I think this is a bad choice because, I don't know, you don't normally log at night for one thing, but I'd also argue there's no noisier crime than tree stealing. So I don't think they're going to get like surprised by the group of tree thieves. Do you know what I mean?
I just want to note that up until this point where Willie is not building anything, Willie has been a tree thief in every single episode of this show.
Yeah.
They've stolen more trees on camera than anybody I've ever seen, possibly in human history.
Yeah. They do a lot of illegal logging. They also do a lot of poaching. Kind of their whole thing is we're going to go fucking illegally kill a bunch of animals that are at least endangered, if not like magical.
100% of these traps are illegal. I can show you
100%.
the exact laws. You can go on the books to West Virginia's legal codes and find where, no, you're not allowed to build a giant trap that triggers itself and will capture anything
Rightfully
that walks into it.
But they're absolutely disgusted at the idea of tree poachers. Is who we're like. It's just, I'm sorry, even if that's like a real big problem somewhere, like for real, it does not play on like storytelling. The stakes are too low that we have to stop them from stealing the trees that are literally all around us out here. Like,
Robert, it's a patch of land that the owner doesn't go onto because he's too scared. It's not being used for anything.
That
the
nobody-
trees, why not let somebody log them? You're not.
it's called no man's land because there's no man.
Who cares?
It doesn't belong to anybody. And like, I guess I'm of the opinion that you should probably just leave trees alone unless you really need them. But even so, it's just not enough stakes for a television show to be like,
also
somebody took my tree that I was not using and will never see.
They have like one logging truck and they've cut down like 10 trees. It's like $200 worth of lumber. It's a lot of work of all the crimes you could commit.
You were about to see Willie
It's real petty.
take more lumber than they do.
Because I'm just like, where's this black market sawmill where you can just show up with a bunch of illicit trees? Like, they don't ask questions. Like, where'd you get those? Like, hey, you don't need to know about it. $76 for the whole load. We know what we've got. This is all pine. This is pine here.
Probably. I can't name another tree.
I don't know. But Huckleberry says, and if they're in here stealing timber, they're armed. Why?
He's right with chainsaws, at least, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
Probably chainsaws, axes, that kind of thing.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Well, like, yeah, if I was out somewhere stealing trees, if I was that degenerate, like, I'm not jumping to murder.
I
That's
feel
a
like
big jump.
Because what's the legal penalty for stealing a tree? It's
Like
like a fine of like
$20?
$130. Like, no, I'm not going
I
to
bet
shoot
it's
my
a
way
lot.
out of this.
I bet it sort of sucks. And I bet the
bet it
guy
sucks.
arresting you for stealing a tree has been waiting his whole life to arrest you for stealing a tree. He's going to fucking throw the book at you.
I don't know. They look like shitty trees anyway. I just got myself canceled. Tree culture. So Bucket
I
erupts
grew
all
up,
of this.
we did our own logging when I was a kid, but we did it legally. Like we paid to go out into the patch of forest. So I at one point I might have known the fine for illegal logging, but that would have been in the late 80s. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's probably more now, hopefully. Do illegal logging fees get affected by inflation? They must. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a tree economist.
So Buck needs to, much like me right now, Buck needs to get everything back on track. And he levels with the team. He
does.
says, all right, you guys, the way I see it, we have to find Rock Point.
Only one way to do it.
The way you see it? the way, just my opinion.
He's weighing
we
all
should-
the options.
It's the reason you're out here in the woods. It's the reason you're here. You can't
So
gather
he's
the
right.
team and be like,
So he's right.
they then determine they don't know where Rock Point is. So the best move right now is to split up into two teams, go to opposite sides of the valley, and drive the unknown rock formation between them.
Wherever
Because
it
it
is.
has to be.
I
Has to
put
be
in-
between the 2 points.
I put in my notes that this pincer movement on a rock is the all-time low point of the series.
Yep.
Do you think that's mean too? I was in a bad mood when I watched this. My notes are really mean. I'm leaving a lot of stuff out because I was really cranky when I watched this.
They pincer movement a rock. They're going to drive a rock into the other team.
They are going to, listeners, they're going to play this like a hunt. And to be clear, Rock Point, this is not like the Goonies where they're trying to find some hidden location. Rock Point's a known location. I don't know if people remember from previous episodes. No Man's Land is 500 acres. It's less than 1 square mile. So Rock Point is not, they weren't saying like, well, there's a legend of a spot. You know, it's like Indiana Jones where you've got to have the pole that shines the light down. It's like, no, it's Rock Point. It's like, yeah, like they could have asked that guy, they could have asked Travis, where's Rock Point? And he would have just told him. Mm-hmm. But instead they're doing a hunt because they didn't have anything for this episode. They had one thing, and they're going to save it for the very end. Otherwise, because that's the rhythm of what I think is the writer-free era of the show, which is we've got one thing, it happens at the end, the rest is filler. We are just straight up, this is anime series, filler episode material.
I don't understand.
Buck has to get his driver's license. Huckleberry's got to do taxes. Fuck it, watch that.
Rock. They didn't even know where it was. They just know that wherever it is, they're gonna pincer it.
Yeah, because they have 2 teams in this 500-acre spot, and they're gonna walk towards each other. Therefore, it has to be between them.
Yes, and they're the usual teams too. They put the runners and the jumpers on one side, and then the weak-kneed waddlers on the other. So one of those teams is going to be doing all the work because the other one cannot move horizontally or vertically.
So on Team Buck, Huckleberry asks Jeff to use his thermal, but Buck leaps into action to heroically steal the moment and says, "What's this? A cow skeleton?" And he just finds a cow skeleton out there. Our old friend.
It's the bones.
It's the
What
bones.
you're not showing the enthusiasm for the fact that they needed something because, like, guys, we're out here doing a hunt for a rock. We've got to do something. So they got their trash bag full of that one cow's worth of bones that have turned up in.
Yep.
Some fan knows how many episodes the bones have been in. But it's such a great piece of continuity because when Buck found that hog earlier, what was it? Just bones. Like, we even made a joke at the time, like, this thing's a true meat drinker. It just leaves the bones behind.
Just eats the meat. I love it because the way he looks at the bones, he's like, no wolf could eat a cow like this. They're all like just stunned by how it ate. Because I guess he thought that it like got Tasmanian deviled. Like the wolf like flew down and ate it in like a second. It didn't occur to him that maybe something gnawed on this bone for a while.
I think a pack. He says a pack of wolves couldn't have done this. And
right, impossible. A wolf can't eat a cow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I looked it up. I asked AI if a pack of wolves can kill a cow. And it confirmed, no, they cannot, because cows are made of milk. And they have the strongest bones
wolves
in the animal
can't
kingdom.
drink milk.
And yeah, wolves are lactose intolerant. Mm-hmm. And then it did tell me to drink poison.
Of course.
Well, just of course, as an aside.
Cover yourself in
It shows
yogurt
up in the little box at the
to
bottom.
avoid
It's
wolves.
like, drink some poison. You click yes. I would be excited if it was the planks.
Click yes to continue.
I'm a plank man. I'm not ashamed to say.
You're not a big bone fan.
No, I'm not a cow skeleton man. I'm a plank man, baby.
This is a third of the way through the episode, by the way. We're 15 minutes in. The only thing that has happened is they talked to that guy and they found the bones.
But stuff's about to happen. It's over on Willie's team. Willie whispers to Wild Bill.
That's a Huckleberry line. Willie cannot pull this shit off.
And it's undercut by Wild Bill looking at him and at full volume saying, "Huh, no shit."
Yeah.
does not know how to reply to that. Oh, shit. But then they hear a noise. Something is circling them in the brush, and they do my favorite jump cut that they haven't done in a long time, which is they do the shaky cam, they play the noise, and then they cut to commercial, but they do that by throwing to the CGI model of the wolf,
Yes.
thus implying that the CGI monster has leapt out of the bushes. You're like, it's the CGI wolf monster.
Oh, no.
It's a classic. It's a classic
Yeah.
move I haven't seen in a little bit.
I like there's a moment here where Willie goes to the camera and he can't figure out where it went because the monster's there and then it runs away. And Willie's like, how the fuck did it? It could have gone anywhere. What? How? Where could it be? And it's like, it could have just gone in any direction, Willie. Like, it just left. The things they don't understand is really troubling to me, I guess.
Also, this is the first time in the episode, because they showed the CG rendering of the smoke wolf earlier, and they only had it on screen for like half a second, almost as if they didn't want you looking at it too hard.
Yeah.
Because I think this episode's the first time they've had a CG rendering of the smoke wolf.
It's true.
So if you pause your TV, you will find that the smoke wolf is a wolf. That's their starting point. Only it has like dinosaur spines down its back. And it has bull horns coming out of its shoulder, pointing forward. I cannot believe that rendering is from a pre-AI graphic era, because that is the most AI-ass creature drawing I have ever seen.
I can't believe none of the people they've talked to so far have mentioned the dinosaur spines or the shoulder horns.
Yeah,
they've only
shoulder
said
horns
it's a
are new.
wolf with red eyes. They're like, wolves. They have the horns out of the shoulders. They got the dinosaur spines in the back. yeah, wolves, right? Yeah. So now they have to, Willie radios in, they have to abandon the pincer movement, and an insane move I thought I'd never see. Buck says, I guess we shouldn't have separated. That wasn't a good idea.
Well, they've never finished a pincer movement, I don't think. But we've definitely never heard Buck say, yeah, it's a fucking dumb move to pincer.
What an earth-shattering admission.
Yeah.
This is like hearing your dad apologize for drinking for the very first time. Like you didn't know that was a place that psychologically he could go. Hearing Buck say, we probably shouldn't have separated like that. That made no sense at all. It's like, Jesus Christ. Is this where we're going?
To admit anything was a bad idea is something I never thought I'd see happen on this show. Like
where does it stop?
The whole show falls apart if that's a possibility. That
Yeah,
some
you start
ideas
tugging
can
on
be
that
bad.
thread, everything comes undone. Everything.
That's fucking dangerous, man. You can't come back from that. But then to do it about the American classic, the pincer movement, the foundation of the show, it's your only strategy. What do you do if that's a bad idea? Just run at it, right?
Yeah, you have to rethink everything. Jason's right. It's it's foundational.
So Buck's team hears a noise. I swear to God. Okay, I swear to God, everything I say in this order is true. Buck's team hears a noise, and they say, Jeff, get out your thermal. And Jeff gets out his thermal, and he says, my God, I've got something. It's enormous, and he shows it, and it's just this giant glowing blob. And Buck and Huckleberry gather around. They all say, my God, it's enormous. What is it? What is that? And Jeff says, it's a big rock. The rock made the noise?
The rock made the noise. Jeff explains that sometimes rocks absorb heat from the sun and can be warm. And they're like, holy fucking shit. They're so pumped about it. Buck cannot wait to check out this warm rock. He's like, you got a rock over there? I gotta see this rock.
They play the musical cue of when they're being attacked. Yeah, like the rock is about to launch itself. Like you've got a Final Fantasy VII monster that's just a big stupid rock where it's one of the ones they thought was funny to put in there, and it does like 9,000 damage. Just like comes out like, psh.
Yeah, it just lifts up and bops you, and you're like, yeah, that's what a rock would do. Stupid for me for expecting something different. I just love that there was genuinely a moment where they did not recognize. They went, what is that? It's enormous. So they thought there was like a whale out in the What did you think the big round featureless mass was? My God, they tried to make rock a threat. That's how little is happening in this episode. They tried to make it look like a big rock snuck up on them.
Yeah. Jeff has never been more useful though. Like he found the location, his thermal picked something up. Like this is a big moment for Jeff. He gets a couple of big moments in this episode.
He found a rock. It's
Yeah,
true.
well, again, they didn't find an artifact. They found a location that they had directions to.
Sure.
It's like they celebrate as if they found the Holy Grail in a cave. It's like it's the equivalent of having found the house where the birthday party is being held. And it's like, oh, there it is. Yeah, the blue house next to the thing.
Yeah. They've been my
They were
neighbors for
told where
years.
to go. It's a known location. It's just Rock Point or whatever the hell it's called.
I'll
Anyway.
be the one to say it. It's not that big of a rock.
No, and in fact,
Yeah,
later
that's true.
Later, they're going to point out there's rocks all over it. That's not one of the bigger ones.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, 8 feet long, 4 feet high. Like it's a bit. If it was in your yard, you'd be like, that's the big rock in my yard. But
Sure.
like if it was in a national park, you would take no note of it whatsoever. They're floored by Rock Point. It's a modest sized boulder that you would find in
Now-
like a city park.
All they have left to do is to figure out why a monster yelled here twice in the 70s.
So the rest of the team arrive. Buck proudly does a dramatic reveal of "You're never gonna believe this." The Rock, and they're
Rock.
like, "Oh my god!"
I think he even makes a Goonies reference. And he's like, wow, I think it's like we found King Willie's gold or Pirate Willie's gold.
Yeah, big old one-eyed Willie's
One-eyed Willie.
rock.
It's been a while.
The treasure map was to a rock. We found it. The Goonies together. We saved the city. So that's enough, right? We got to get the fuck out of
Get
here.
outta
We
here.
found a
Yeah.
big rock. Never
Well,
mind
Buck-
what we came here to do with that rock. It's time to leave.
Yeah, that was their mission, right? Just to go there, not hang
Yeah.
out and try to do anything. Buck decides
Learn
also
to
it's a
look-
pretty bad spot because there is a little bit of hill behind him. Perfect spot for an ambush.
So I just want to reiterate. They found the rock that they were looking for, and they said, "Okay, let's go home." Like, if you were on a hike to, like, I don't know, to see a rock, you would go up and you would climb on that rock. You would look at it. You would walk around it or something. You wouldn't look at it and go, "Huh, all right, back
in the
to
car."
the car." Like, there's no destination. They turn around and Jeff has something else on his thermal, and then he says, "It's not a what, but a who." A man in the woods 60 yards out, and they all react like this is the scariest thing they could ever find.
Now, I owe the show an apology because my notes here were just a series of expletives that I typed out. Because I thought, and I even came into the company Slack and like posted a screenshot of Jeff finding a man on thermal and saying, "There's somebody out here." And I was like, if they're redoing Rogue Team 6 episodes into the reboot of their show, I can't do it. This is the
we
chupacabra
cancel
in
the
the
show.
golf cart for me. This is the moment where no, I'm out. But that's not what they're building toward. It's actually quite a bit less than that.
Yeah, they figure
Definitely
out
much
it's
less.
it's probably one of the guys out here stealing timber, and the vile, disgusting, perverse timber thief. But just in like what might be a callback to my previous favorite moment of the show, which was when they all came into a clearing in a previous episode, in an earlier episode. They all came to a clearing and they found Huckleberry, who had been missing, and he was covered in mud, and he's got like a big totem that he's wielding over his head. And then they're all stunned into silence, and after a moment, Trapper just goes, "Get him!" And then they all erupt into. I think it's a callback because they're looking at this guy, and there's this long, quiet, drawn-out moment as they look at this guy on thermal, and then Willie just quietly says, "Let's get his ass," and then they all just sprint out like.
Because again, I once more, the listeners are probably confused. It's like, yeah, but how did they know this person was hostile? What did the person do? It's like, well, no, they just saw a person. It could have been Travis, could have been the guy who owns this piece of land.
Yeah.
It could have been a hiker.
guy on a
could have
night
been-
hike. Yeah.
Could have been Johnny Ginsing. Could be anybody. It's just a person. But they immediately go to, no, get him. Go get that.
Get
Get
him.
that guy.
Yeah.
With
With guns. They're all holding guns.
like it's sort of evidence like, oh, he's running, like that must mean we were right, but like, what else would you possibly do with Five hillbillies and their camera crew charged you at night in the forest. Like,
when we say they've got guns, some of them have hunting rifles, so you could think, well, they incidentally have guns because they're hunting. Huckleberry has an AR-15 or an M4 variant. He's got an assault rifle with 90 rounds on him, a 5.56 millimeter high velocity. Like, this is a weapon of war, and he's running after you. This 7 foot tall, bearded, limping man with an assault rifle. It's like, yeah, if you don't run from that, it's because you think you can make a stand and you could take him down.
It is so truly insane not to say, "Hey, how's it going out there?" Just to see what they do before you get his ass. Because
even if they are wood poachers, which to be clear, I don't even know if that's really a thing. What business is that of yours? You don't own this land or those trees. Why does it fall to you to enforce lethal?
Insane.
Yeah.
You also never asked, like, if that guy's too scared to come out on the land, maybe he's like, yeah, you can go out and cut wood, like $50. They never asked.
Yeah, they could. That's a great point. Even if they were logging, they could easily have had permission.
Yep.
It never came up when they were talking to the guy. It never came up once. They never asked. They didn't call in and say, "Hey, are these guys supposed to be logging out here?" It's like, yeah, I paid him. I paid him to collect some logs. We're splitting the money.
$48.
I think this is all set up so that we can do an exact scene by scene recreation of a comedy beat from the Hobbit movies. Because everybody's running, chasing this guy down. Mm-hmm. And Willie, easily the fittest member of the team, is jogging along, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Buck comes trundling along and shoves Willie down and just rockets past him at high speed. And you're like, that's frame by frame the dwarf's running scene where the big fat guy comes running up, and they're like, "Oh, what? What, the big fat guy's faster than us?"
It was so glorious, like a jar of peanut butter falling down the stairs. I'm just reading what it says in my notes.
It was an okay bit. It was an okay bit in The Hobbit. It's an okay bit when they steal it, if they had left it there. They, of course, did not leave it there. We'll talk about that in a minute.
He's so wildly out of control. Like, he is going kind of fast, but like the way a toddler is just barely not falling. Like, it's as out of control as an adult man can be. He might as well have been on roller skates.
Oh, that would have been way better. This whole show should be on roller skates all the time, right?
I agree, 1,000%.
Yeah, because the show would have been 3 episodes long. They'd all be dead.
Yeah, but what a 3-episode arc, man.
They'd be better episodes.
Some artists are they secure their place in history by dying young, you know, or modestly young. In their case. So the guy has simply disappeared. They surmise he probably jumped the fence, but we would have heard that. And then they hear the distant yips of coyotes, and they determine maybe he ran past the coyotes. Reasonable assumption, I guess. Then they take something quite insane from this. They say, okay, we were chasing that guy. That guy ran past some coyotes, and the coyotes started yipping. Now, we need to make a plan. We need to come into these woods all the time now to get the wildlife used to us.
Yeah.
So we have to move our home base and move into no man's land. We live here now. To make the coyotes not yip at us? I don't think they're going to go for that.
It's like a Jane Goodall thing. They live among the coyotes, and then they get used to them. They adopt them as coyotes of their own.
I suspect there's a reason they haven't tried that with coyotes.
Yeah, maybe.
I think maybe like at one point there was like a Jane Goodall of the coyotes.
And they were torn apart.
And there's a reason we don't know that.
Yeah. Good point.
But I'm not confused. They built their trap a long time ago, and it's not in no man's land, right? That was before they found no man's land. Their trap is out somewhere, just out in the regular yes man's land.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a
Is
kid
that going to be a problem? Okay.
Do you think Willie's sad? I think he's sad.
Well, because
about all the children he's killed.
Yes.
Because they make this point of saying like Buck says, Willie, you need to brainstorm a base camp to build for us. And then there's this thing where Jeff points his thermal camera at Willie's head and is like, oh, his head's heating up, trying to think of a base camp, of how to build a base camp.
It's the like numbers flying by, except for it's just a single cube rotating. It's just one cube.
But there's a punchline to it where they're going to come back the next morning and show the base camp he and Bill have built, and it's the worst thing they've ever built.
It's just
by far.
It's
Before
like a
that,
tent made out of tree debris.
Before that, they do have to ruin the one thing they did right, which, like, even in the Hobbit movies, they didn't stop after that bit and be like, well, did you see how fast that fat dwarf went?
Yeah.
He went far faster than I would expect a large dwarf like him to go, and I, a skinny dwarf, assumed I'd be faster. But that's what they do here. They grind the whole show to a halt just to, like, over-explain a quick visual comedy bit that I would argue, if you did not get, if you need this explanation, you are probably in the process of dying, and like that part of your brain has gone. Those neurons are just decayed.
He took his own hero moment away because he's like, yeah, I was breathing hard. 5 more steps, I would have just fucking died.
Yeah,
Like,
not funny anymore.
Yeah, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, certainly not.
When I saw you do that, I was a little worried for you.
So then we cut to the next day, and Willie and Wild Bill are building the base camp. They've already built most of it because it's just like a Cub Scout lean-to.
Yeah.
On a giant scale. It's just a log with like some other logs and then some sticks over it. That's what they said. Willie, we're gonna have to move into the most dangerous place they call it no man's land, because demon wolves with shoulder horns and dinosaur spines devour everybody that comes in here. Willie, we're gonna need a fortress to live here safely. And Willie put some sticks against some other sticks and was like, job's a good one, man.
There's no canvas. There's no tarp. The thing that's keeping the rain out is it's pine branches. If you had showed this structure to a group of humans 100,000 years ago, they would have thought it was bad.
Yeah.
They would have been like, look, we get that this is a primitive, we're still at a stage of, like, we can build something that keeps rain out better than this, because I don't know if we've made it clear. They're filming this in a cold, miserable time of the year. Specifically, this is going to spoil something. They're filming this in February of 2020, which is going to be relevant soon.
Yep.
But this is the kind of thing you would build if you had to spend a single night and you had nothing with you. Buck's premise is, no, we live out here now.
Yeah,
no hotel, no Airbnb. We're not coming in and out anymore. You need to build something. And a couple of seasons ago, which I know that's not canon anymore, Willie built them like a 2-story log cabin. Remember that? They had the 2-holer outhouse in the back, and it was much better than this.
That's why I say I think he's sad.
Yeah.
I think he's grown quite sad from all of his. All of his traps.
Of his sadness, for sure.
Yeah, all of his traps going unused. Second, he's the one that we learned in the behind the scenes. He has to go back by himself and dismantle all of his own traps that they don't use. So, like, man, Willie's dug a lot of small graves by himself.
He's pulled a lot of tiny bodies out of those things.
There's a lot of
about it with.
A lot of little crosses he's hammering into the ground all by himself and pulling his hat off and putting it over his heart. And this is an expression of that sadness that you can really feel. The deaths of all those children in this terrible lean-to. So Huckleberry and Jeff are hiking back out to Rock Point. I don't know why we're doing this, but they're both repeatedly using the new Mountain Monsters green screen. It's fucking wild that this is a thing that they're doing. I do think Jason's right, and that like somehow they fucked up and like had to do later ADR or something during lockdown. I think that's probably the only explanation for why they are suddenly appearing on green screen. But that somehow implies that they come back and do like fill-in shoots. That can't be right.
That can't be right.
There's no way that's right. Because that means they're doing this on purpose. That's not.
Impossible.
I'm not entertaining that as a possibility.
Huckleberry like looks at the rock and he's like really haunted by it. He's like, there's something we're missing about that rock. And you can see his gears turning. You know he's about to like add the predator or a Bigfoot cuck perch or something. Like you know they gotta cut him off.
And here's where Jeff and the cameraman both betray the show, because Jeff's like, oh, there's actually giant rocks all around here, aren't there? And the camera just sweeps around and shows their rock, the one that they hunted, is just in the middle of a giant field of even. He's like, yeah, they bubble up from under the soil because they rise up. And yeah, it's turns out there's nothing special about this rock. They all look like this. In fact, a lot of them are a lot cooler than this one. I don't know why we picked this one.
In fact, look at that one.
Predator
It's
lives
easily 3 times the size of this one. They should call that Rock Point. So, I legitimately thought Huckleberry was going to do a Predator here too. The way he's like thinking about it, and he even says at one point, "There's rain coming in. We can use that to our advantage." And I was like, he's going to slather himself in mud. Like he's.
Oh God, that would have been great.
But no. His plan is to take another thing from Trapper's diary. They've been doing this. They've been using Trapper's diary to come up with amazing hunting ideas. And in this case, the hunting idea is you can lure predators in by starting a fire and cooking meat over it. And I'm somehow done talking.
This is the 3rd time they've done this bit where they're summoning predators. They use the tape recorder technology. You remember that. And then when they put the bone in the dirt, I think that was called Operation Penetration Boner. But it's just a bit they keep coming back to. They're like, oh, let's just call all the monsters here to us. Which is safe in this point because, remember, they have the chain. They could just waggle the chain at the monster they're trying to summon. Unless they all forgot about that. But that'd be crazy.
Surely in between scenes they distributed chains to every member. It's clear that they have not mentioned it, and they don't show any of them with the chains or them grabbing for them when they hear the wolves, but that's surely just implied. But also the phrase Huckleberry uses is, this will draw in every predator for 10 square miles. So he's just trying to commit suicide. It's like, yeah, we're going to strip nude and cover our bodies in pork fat and let him chow down.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how the Predator is summoned in the movie Predator. Arnold builds that giant fire to draw in every predator within 10 miles, right?
Exactly.
It's all right there. It's all coming up. Huckleberry, man.
Also, craziest moment of the episode, when Wild Bill, he relays this plan to Wild Bill. Wild Bill says, yeah, that'll work. They do it in Canada. They burn honey to draw the bears in. That's true. I thought he just started talking, didn't know where that sentence was going. No, that's absolutely true.
Wild Bill
It's so
knew a
weird
thing.
to get a real true fact from these guys.
And from Wild Bill.
Surprised they didn't cut it. Like, no, that's something real. That can't go in.
Yeah.
We could be sued for that. People might try it if it's a real one.
But this is a suicide mission. Like, let's be clear.
Real quick, I just
These are
want
the
to
5 worst hunters in America. They can't deal with every predator in the 10 square miles. That's just not going to...
I just want to ask one question. Why do they feel the need to lure the wolves in to the point where they know all the wolves go? Because that's the reason they're going to this rock in particular, is all of the wolves come to this rock to make noise. It's the wolf. It's the singing rock. It's red rock for wolves.
I think it's just a matter of
we
patience.
have to set... Yeah.
They can never be in the same spot for more than 5-10 minutes. Because of...
Also, the smoke wolves, are there a bunch of them or is there one?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
They talk like there's a bunch of them, but I don't think we know yet. Something else we don't know. Huckleberry says, these smoke wolves have a howl that turns into a demon scream. I haven't heard anything like that since my wedding night.
Take a drink. Huckleberry referencing his life as a pussy wizard. When he is
It wasn't his wife, though. It wasn't his wife.
I know that the punchline is still coming, but it's still clearly he's referencing his hobby as a shaft maxer.
Yeah.
It was an okay line.
Jason, are
Huckleberry
you shaft
takes away from
maxing
it.
us right now?
I mean, you can't see it, but he's got a little tiny hammer out, just bashing.
Boner breaking.
Yeah. Boner smashing, they call it, of course. Huckleberry had a good line. He takes away from him a little bit when he's like, no, boys. I'm not talking about my wife. I mean my uncle. And then he leaves a nice long pause so the Buck can go, what the hell is wrong with you? Legitimately
Great
a good
question.
I got a straight laugh from that. That was a good interaction. And then he says, no, my uncle stubbed his toe trying to break dance to banjo music and ruined everything.
Yeah.
Ruined the whole all the lines.
Bit. It's like they're fucking playing Cards Against Humanity in the woods.
Just stacking hats on hats until it's a
Yeah.
fucking hat tower of Babel that offends God and he has to knock it down. He's just weariness. Absolute bone weariness. So they're gonna split up again. Buck, Wild Bill, and Willie are gonna build the fire while Huckleberry and Jeff watch from above because there's a little hill and they don't want to go down it. They say that on the show.
I can't believe.
Also, going down that muddy hill, Buck has his shotgun and a giant can of gasoline and falls down. And I just imagined that going off, it detonates the gasoline. There's a fireball, just a chain reaction of horror from
Kills a whole Ames team. That's how they go out. So they build that fire and they start throwing on some quality meat cuts straight from the grocery store. They got a brisket, they got a pork shoulder. Buck starts this off by saying, boys, throw down your meat. And then later on he says, flop her on there, Willie. I'm sorry if I stole anybody's quote of the episode.
Nah, you're okay.
No, but you don't say that. You don't say a phrase like that to a hog monger like Huckleberry. You want to throw down your meat is what he said. It's like, okay, so this is a thing now. This is a bit that we're going to do in every episode.
I'm just
Shot
like,
the old penis.
well, flop her on there, Willie. Let me get to work. So they start to climb back out, but then Buck pauses and gives the rock a meaningful look. He's noticed something, and it's the meaningful look he gives when you instantly know, oh, he's going to do like my special boy moment where only I have noticed something. But we'll come back to that in a little bit because I have to my move is I just plain forget about it for a while.
Yep. Whoops.
Every time he just forgets. He's like, "What? I did see something." Or it's like the Matlock trap where he's like, just one more question. What did I see? And like it doesn't work if it's you. If it's you, then it's like, So that they all climb out. They take their posts, waiting around the fire. They have to riff some time here. So Willie and Wild Bill are filling some space, and Willie asks Wild Bill if he likes steak. And Wild Bill is offended. He says, "Of course I like steak." And Willie says, "How the hell do you chew it with just the one tooth?" And Wild Bill says, "I improvise." And then he pantomimes slapping the steak on his boot, wiggling it around, and then kind of deep-throating it for a little bit. And then he says, "Gummer." As though that's an explanation for anything.
But that is the punchline of this bit, and that's how you know this is not written, because it doesn't arrive anywhere. It just uses up some time from your life.
No, you're wrong. That's not the punchline of the bit. The punchline of the bit is when Willie sings a little song that goes like this. Right. Steak, 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 yum, 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 going down the gums. What the fuck?
I didn't put that in my notes because I didn't want to have to sing it. It was like
I have an angry little comment there. Is that what I was mad about? I watched this a couple days ago.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
It takes Wild Bill by surprise so much that he genuinely barks out laughter, and then they have to be like, "Oh, shh, we're waiting for him."
Quiet, right? We're hunting.
What the fuck did you do? Willie, are you drunk? What was that?
Yeah. And then Huckleberry says very explicitly that he's glad that Buck sent them down to get torn apart by the monsters because us two fat bastards couldn't make it, meaning him and Jeff. Mm-hmm. And Buck has no response. He's like, am I going to get included in the fat jokes? And then Jeff says, excuse me, but who are you calling fat bastard over here? And then Huckleberry says, I'm sorry, Jeff, how about plump? And Buck is in hysterics because now that he's like Ozempic down to 280, he is like, these fat jokes are the best because they don't include me. And Jeff goes, he thinks about it. He's like, plump bastard? And then they are laughing their ass off while their friends are being ripped apart by monsters.
Yes, because then
summoned.
they hear the demonic screaming of the smoke wolves. As after the riffing, of course. We've riffed,
Yes.
each team has gotten a quality riff in. And a record deal, perhaps. And now they hear the smoke wolves. So Buck heroically volunteers Willie and Wild Bill to go check it out, of course. And and so there are noises all around them. They're surrounded. They need backup. Buck says, "Okay, but there's no way we can make it down this
Right.
slight hill.
They're too fat or plump or whatever word we're using, but it's built
It's
into the
graduated
fiction.
to an impossibility from
Yes.
being like, this is an inconvenience because we are overweight to now we can't
Yes.
go down what we are currently looking at and know is a slight hill."
So the solution is they have to go get the golf cart and come get them and then drive all the way around the hill. In the middle, again, the noises that they're playing is the sound of hundreds of coyotes being torn apart by a larger monster.
Yes.
That's the thing that he sent the trap team to go die investigating that. Go down to that horror and be killed. We'll be there in an hour and a half.
Yeah. Which begs the question, if you knew there was a road down there and you set up this wasn't an emergency. You didn't respond to this fire and run out here and find a fire. You set this up. So like, why did you park here and then just make them walk down if you knew it was if this is like a sand trap, if this is like an antlion for fat guys, like you're just never going to get back out if you go down there. Like, why did you do any of this? So
Also,
they have to wait
hey,
like an hour.
You don't have to make your fatness a key plot point in your action. You can ride around it. You don't have to build the entire structure of the climax of your episode around, okay, now half the team is too fat to address this. We are stating, that's not us saying that. Listeners, we're not saying that.
That's not us. We have said that, and I've always felt bad, but it's sort of undeniable. They are writing it into the story now.
It's not even implied. It's stated in plain fact. I'm too fat to save my friends.
I have to listen to them die.
I must listen to them die while I trundle around to the fat access road.
And the next day they have to live with that. Their friend is dead because they're too fat, and then they have to eat, right? Like every bite of those French fries is gonna feel like they're reliving the worst moment of their life.
I can't believe they did this to themselves. Like,
That's fucking crazy.
I can't believe they did this to themselves before accidentally shooting themselves. Like, I would never. I would have lost money betting on this. Would have bet the wrong way. So it just stops. Willie and Wild Bill are no longer surrounded for no apparent reason. So they start hiking toward all of the noises of the murder, and the coyotes panic and then fall silent. So Buck's team is driving the little golf cart around, looking for a convenient route to come pick up the bloody remnants of their friends, I assume. They're hiking towards the thing they're supposed to be running from. I don't know if Wild Bill has gotten more intelligible in general, or if it's like a Han Solo and Chewbacca thing, and I've just like gotten...
You just speak it now, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of speak it now. Like, I can't make the noises myself, but I can understand what they mean. But he says something, and I wrote down a line of his dialogue here that is a true throwback to the early days, because I have no idea what it means. At some point, he says, "We ye keepa dem a dieball pit."
No, that's Jar Jar Binks.
I don't know.
Chewbacca. That's Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but that's something he says there is
That sounds
important, because
right.
that's like an action cue where they run up and they abruptly stumble across the coyotes. Only the coyotes have been completely massacred. And I will say this, I want to give them credit before we get into this. They did get another of Jason Pargent's producer notes from Out of Time. These are actual animal remains, actual coyotes that have been torn apart. It's very dramatic looking. It's like a cool horror set piece. And it's something that's easy to do and get because hunters will go out and just hunt coyotes. And if you say, I would like 25 coyote corpses, there will be a lot of hunters out there being like, yeah right here, and check out
wait my whole life for somebody to ask for that.
Now, they don't have 25, they have 6. And they're going to do that thing where they cut it, they shoot from, and the one wide shot, the most they ever show, 6, which again is 5 more than this show has ever
for sure
done. It looks good. If there was a scene in the X-Files where a monster was killing coyotes, it looks exactly like what they would have. It is guts hanging out. It is chunks torn from them. It's the best prop work they've done, probably. But this was earlier, and we said they had one thing, and then the whole episode was them wandering around the woods to get to the one thing. It's the exact same thing. Last week or the week before, they had the sculpture with the skull, and they spent the whole episode just wandering around the woods until they got to the thing. Same thing here, and they're going to verbally say, oh my, there's 24, 25, coyotes. Now, in the fiction of the show, they murdered those coyotes. Remember... What happened was they did that meat on the smoke and the fire and the rain thing to drew in what they say is 4 packs of coyotes that have been killed. They drew in the packs of coyotes who then got murdered by the smoke wolf. They did this.
They did. Hold on, just to interrupt, they don't know it's a smoke wolf. Each of the Ames members looks at this and is like, what could have done this? Even though... the whole fucking point of being there is this. I guess this is what it reveals something that's so frustrating about this show is the danger of pretending to be hunting magic wolves. It's hard to regulate like that level of stupidity. Like the rules of the fiction are you don't know what just happened, but it's really hard to be exactly that dumb, especially when it's really super obvious what just happened. So now they can't reason or remember things, and they overshoot playing dumb so much that they're just literal babies. And I think that's what pisses me off so much is that obviously the smoke wolf did this. The idea of pretending it didn't is fucking crazy.
Also, it's the thing, this is the reason I inserted that little speech that may have been cut about how storytelling works, because this attack, it's shocking to see it, but it's the thing they already know what it does. They've been told in no man's land, these smoke wolves kill everything. Nothing comes in or out. Nothing. So it's just visually seeing something. It doesn't raise the stakes because it's doing what you've already been told it does. And it's not like they found Travis chewed up. That would have been an elevation of the stakes because oh my gosh, our witnesses, they still don't do that. Like in Jaws, it was a child that got eaten by the shark. It wasn't just, oh my gosh, look at all these fish. Man, that shark, nasty. Look at all these bass it chewed up. So I don't know. I've been so negative the last few episodes, saying it's like the worst episode they've ever done. But these last few, there's so little. They're using the structure that bad Netflix series do, where they had one feature film's worth of story, but they got 9 episodes out of it. Yeah. So the rhythm is nothing, shocking cliffhanger, nothing, shocking. It's just to keep you watching. They're trying to do that, only their shocking cliffhangers are often, look at the sculpture we found.
Yep.
I'll give them the shocking cliffhanger this time. I'm with you. I think they probably could have found a farmer that is like, you need some dead Travis? I got dead Travis in my barn. Like we can $20. I'll splay him out for you real good. But this is like one of the most shocking things they've done, and it's like they've actually gone through and shredded these coyote corpses, which must have been a kind of messed up day as the prop department, especially since your day at the prop department on this show is usually like, you got those tourist bones? Sure do, boss. Still got them. Like that's your job. That's it. So like this was a lot to ask of the poor prop guy.
Yeah, they're like, here's a cheese grater and 25 dead coyotes. Make it look real fucked up.
But it should have been like the very simple storytelling thing here is you should have just done this backwards. Like you go out here, you don't know what you're dealing with. You hear this noise, and then you come across massacred coyotes. Now you go talk to Travis, who tells you the smoke wolves. They say they kill everything. Like, that's the reveal. You just got it backwards. Which is bad storytelling. 7 seasons, and towards the end of that 7 seasons that you're still
There's
doing
only
that?
12 episodes left. 11 or 12 total of the
show.
entire show. Not this season. This season there's only 2.
And they're still getting basic storytelling backwards.
We've got to be 7 away from even meeting a smoke wolf, right?
Probably. But that's the one thing that happened in the episode, so that's our out. It's time to pick our favorite quote of the
Hold on.
episode.
I got to give them credit because they do the sizzle reel, the coming next week thing, and that ends with them hearing a noise and somebody saying, "We've got a Bigfoot." And again, I just want to say, imagine any other show on TV where not once has Bigfoot shown up during the season or been referenced. Like, imagine if this happened on The Pit or The Bear, where it's like, season next week's like, after all the stuff about the restaurant and all the stress they're going through and all that, it's like, we've got a Bigfoot out here. Like, all right.
I'd be so happy.
I'm going to be there. I will be there next week. Thank you.
So let's pick our favorite quote of the episode. I'm actually going to go first this time because mine's real small. Mine's real little. It's when they're doing the reveal, when Travis is doing the reveal that it was the stranger that he knew was actually Trapper. That when he says that, it cuts to Huckleberry, and Huckleberry just makes this noise. That's it. That's my quote of the episode.
It's good. It's a good quote. You got a drink. That's a sex reference. Because he definitely came.
Well, how about you, Sean?
Mine's another Huckleberry quote. They're talking about the smoke wolves, and he interrupts to say, "I want a piece of their ass."
All right, Jason?
This is referenced already, but it was when Huckleberry's telling his story about his wedding night, and he's like, now, hold on. I was talking about my uncle. And then the quote of the episode was when Buck looks at him and says, "What is wrong with you?"
Genuinely a good gag. Like, if they just stop it there, that's...
My second place was when they find the cow bones that they've used. And Buck says it snapped it right here at the joint. And it's just, he's just holding up an old bone. And nothing is weird about this bone at all. And then Jeff says, "That jaw power is phenomenal." I just really liked that.
I do want to point out that it was right around the time I was watching this episode that I happened to look at, because again, we are not watching the spinoff show they created on YouTube called Sons of Appalachia. We are saving it because we don't want to look ahead. But I do see the thumbnails they use, and the one I saw as I was watching this episode was the return of the shadow creature.
Yes.
They are hunting the xenomorph again.
Fuck
this
yes.
time on even less budget. And I was like, I wish I was watching that.
Yeah, man. It's getting dire. Although I gotta say, I don't know about you guys, note-taking has gotten a lot easier for this show.
Absolutely. These are 1/3 the size of my normal notes.
Yeah, it used to take me, I swear to God, like 3-4 hours an episode of just like pause. Got to write down everything that happened here. Pause. Back when they were doing like Monster of the Week, we got to set up a story. We got to have a witness. We got to set up like a mythos. I would have notes that were like 10,000 words long. And like, how are we gonna get through this? Like, I got like 5,000 words in notes out of 2 episodes. So 2,500 words per episode. But that's getting real easy. Job's getting easy.
Because you have to be a Bigfoot teacher, you have to open up your mouth. You have to be a Bigfoot teacher. All your friends are so knocked out. You have to have the last word last night. You know what everything's about. You have to have the white hot spotlight. You have to be a Bigfoot last night. Whoa, whoa.